there's no check for $250 million. So he kind of went right down the list of joking. He's kidding. You're not supposed to believe any of that to be true.
Conor McGregor has just sent a brutal warning to Logan Paul ahead of their fight. He will make $250 million for fighting Logan Paul, according to the Irishman himself. In December, McGregor disclosed that he had entered into early-stage negotiations for a potential boxing exhibition match against Paul, set to take place in India. He added fuel to the fire last week by reacting to an article about his alleged $500 million fight deal with Paul at Mumbai's Wanked Stadium, posting an Indian flag alongside a heart emoji. According to Fightbook MMA, both fighters are set to pocket an extraordinary $250 million each.
It is 80% likely to happen. Now, Ben, there's a couple things that interest me. April and the UFC.
Yeah, I think the big conversation here was that Dana White and the brass would have to be involved for this to occur, much like they were with the Floyd Mayweather fight, which is kind of funny because Dana has stated several times, I believe, that he would never do this again. This co-promotion, this boxing, endeavor just was not worth it to him. But it seems like, yeah, they might be locked and loaded to do it again. And April 2025, that's a lot sooner than I think most people would have guessed. But, again, the rights are up for the UFC. We don't know where they're going to be.
Part of India's ambitious Visit India tourism initiative, tied to a high-profile mega fight, McGregor now appears to have revealed the exact sum he'll earn for stepping into the ring against Paul. The YouTuber turned WWE sensation Conor McGregor tweeted on X, saying $250 million, I'm coming. The tweet was shared along with a picture of Paul dressed in WWE gear and an Indian flag, since fracturing his leg against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264 in July 2021. McGregor, 36, has not participated in his main sport, mixed martial arts. He was scheduled to fight
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India for $250 million each. $250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined, not even close.
Michael Chandler in the main event of UFC 313 in June 2024, marking his eagerly awaited comeback. Their bout was called off after McGregor sustained a toe injury during a sparring session, and efforts to set a new date ultimately fell through in November. His path back to the octagon grew even more tangled when a high court civil ruling in Dublin held him liable for misconduct. Nikita Han emerged victorious in her legal battle against the ex-UFC 2 division champion, securing $486 and $3 in compensation in one of the most significant crossover combat sports events ever. McGregor has only engaged in combat once inside the squared circle. He squared off against the unbeaten legend Floyd Mayweather, who entered the ring with a flawless 49-0 record and left with an unblemished 50-0.
10 seconds.
The high-stakes showdown promised a staggering $410 million prize. To be evenly divided between the two fighters, McGregor made about $130 million, while Mayweather took home the most of the money at $280 million. At the time, it marked the largest purse ever offered for a fight. However, if McGregor's claims hold any truth, a showdown with Paul could set an even higher record. Paul's boxing career has been far less eventful compared to his brother Jake Paul, who stepped into the ring with Mike Tyson before a crowd of 7,2,3,0 spectators in Texas.
What I really want is Conor.
The
I'll put
ideal
the nail
order,
in his casket.
Ideally, if you could have it your way, is it Nate, Tommy, Conor? Is KSI anywhere in that equation
Well,
anymore?
if KSI fights Tommy, he's going to get knocked out.
Yep.
I guess it's all kind of in the air. Time will
And
tell.
captivated 60 million viewers streaming on Netflix last November. The WWE superstar previously faced Mayweather in the ring, battling him for several rounds in June 2021. Though no official victor was declared, the 29-year-old squared off against his former rival, who is now his business partner KSI, in two intense bouts between 2018 and 2019, an era that marked the dawn of the rapidly expanding YouTube boxing phenomenon. Paul's sole professional boxing match so far ended in a split decision loss, following a 2-point deduction for hitting KSI while he was on the ground. Meanwhile, an industry insider in combat sports recently revealed that talks are underway for a boxing showdown between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, tentatively set for April 2025, with the UFC playing a key.
Conor McGregor came out and said that he had agreed to fight Logan Paul. What is the latest there? What is going on?
From what I understand, there was conversations about it a while ago. I don't know if Conor just woke up in like Ibiza or something like that and decided that he wanted to talk about it today. From the last thing I heard, there was no updates there, so I don't know if he's just out of his mind and just talking about it. But Logan just had a kid. He's locked in. He's a girl dad. And so, you know, unless there's something that I haven't heard, which is very possible, I don't know what the hell Conor's talking about. But I'll say this. No matter what, I think the boxing world would love to see it. I think we're talking about two very controversial personalities. One loved and hated, two countries, two different fighting disciplines. The world watches that fight. That's another Tyson-Jake Paul. I don't care what you say, people watch that fight. So I want to see it happen, for sure.
Role in the negotiations following a leg injury sustained during his July 2001 UFC 264 bout against Dustin Poirier. McGregor has not yet returned to combat sports. In the summer of 2024, McGregor's much-anticipated return seemed imminent when UFC officials revealed he would headline UFC 33 against Michael Chandler. Yet the Irish fighter withdrew from the highly anticipated showdown, preparing for the highly anticipated showdown. Shortly after the announcement, citing a toe injury, McGregor's recent posts on X hinted that the Paul fight was nearing finalization. Yet many fans remain skeptical about the UFC's position on the match. In the latest episode of the Misfits News podcast,
so Logan Paul's fighting Conor McGregor, but we're getting scammed since originally this fight was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. I don't know who got more scammed, the people that bought Crypto Zoo or Jake Paul. At least we know this fight will be a harder watch than Joe Biden going up the stairs. Regardless, I will still be watching this fight. Make sure to subscribe.
Hosts Ben Davis and Beal tackled some pressing questions. Beal revealed that the UFC had played a role in the negotiations for the McGregor versus Paul matchup, adding that the authorities were eager to see it unfold by April of this year. Beal, referencing a reliable source, shared that deep negotiations were underway for the fight, with both Conor and Logan expressing interest. He mentioned that they were aiming for April, adding that the UFC was also involved in the discussions and that everything seemed to be progressing in the right direction.